Charges against their only suspect dropped. The death of a local 19-year-old mom leaving her family desperate for closure.
He needs to pay for what he did to my daughter.
The protests they're putting together to dispute a judge's decision.
It's wrong. The system's wrong.
Plus, role model citizens in the U.S. But once they cross the border, violent cartel members with a thirst for drug money. The effort from the U.S. and Mexico to find them and put them behind bars. Then,
the next big weather maker is on its way. How much the last cold front of the month will affect our temperatures and when we'll get our next shot at some showers.
Fox News at 9 starts now.
Remember her story! Remember her face! Remember her story! Remember her
At the top first on Fox, the family of a teen found dead dealt yet another devastating blow. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Brian Wolf.
And I'm Yami Virgen. Camila has the night off. That teen's boyfriend was charged with manslaughter after she was shot. Now the family says he's a free man, and they're not happy about it.
Fox San Antonio's Ariana Lubelli joins us live after looking into this case. Ariana.
Well, the district attorney's office released a statement to us saying that a judge determined there was no probable cause to proceed with criminal charges. The family protested that decision here at the jail.
This isn't fair. It's not fair.
A protest driven by outrage and heartache.
Remember her story! Remember her face!
The rally for 19-year-old Ana Martinez, a mother of two who was shot to death inside a Southside apartment in January.
It's not fair. He gets to go to his family. We don't get to see her. Her babies don't get to see her. They don't get to see their mom.
22-year-old Jose Galindo, who was charged with manslaughter shortly after Martinez's death, had the charge dropped over the weekend.
Why? How? How could they just let him walk like that? They got him. They had the evidence. That's why he's in jail right now. How come they can't keep him there?
According to the district attorney's office, the DA was forced to dismiss the manslaughter charge after an examination hearing. A judge ruled there was no probable cause.
They're just asking for someone else to get killed. That's exactly what they're asking for.
Family members say the couple only dated for about 5 months. They want to hear from anyone else who's been involved with him.
We just need everybody who has information to please call, whether it's he's harassed you, he's put a gun to your head, or just seen how ugly and an angry person he is. Just come forward and speak upon him.
And about 1,000 signatures have been signed on the family's Justice for Ana online petition. Tomorrow they're holding another protest. That one will be held outside of the courthouse. Ariana Lubelli, Fox News at 9.
Melissa Vega at the live desk. We are following some breaking news. A statewide Amber Alert for a missing 8-month-old baby. You may have heard this alert on your cell phone. Right now, police are looking for 8-month-old Nyla Crockett, who police say is with Shenario Crockett. They were last seen in Mesquite, which is less than 15 miles from Dallas. Police believe the baby is in grave or immediate danger. Now, you won't see the Amber Alert digital signs on the highways because we're told that there is no vehicle description at this point. That's the latest from the live desk. Ryan?
All right, Melissa, thanks. Mother Nature has a 1-2 punch in store for us. Today's cold front, though, a bit of a jab. Let's find out if there's a haymaker in store with us. Alex, you've been watching those models. You think this one's got a little bit more of a punch?
The next one's definitely going to have a punch. This one was more Pacific. The one that's coming tomorrow, that's an Arctic front. So get ready for about 15, maybe 18-degree punch in the...
in the kisser.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, 20 degrees. You heard it here first. We'll check in with you in just a bit. An update now on an SAPD officer accused of pulling off a disgusting prank on his female coworkers. Listen to this one. Right now, Officer Matthew Luckhurst is fighting to get his job back. Termination documents from the department say Luckhurst and another officer went into the women's restroom at the Bike Patrol office, used the toilet, and didn't flush it. That's not the disgusting part. Luckhurst and the other officer put a brown substance made to look like fecal matter on that toilet seat. Officer Jessica Materana was the first woman to come into the bathroom.
I felt disrespected. I felt demeaned, like I was less than as a woman for working there because I was going to have to clean it up. Someone was going to have to clean it up. It's going to be one of the girls that was going to have to clean it up.
Tonight, Officer Matthew Luckhurst is trying to get a second indefinite suspension overturned.
The latest on the coronavirus, the CDC confirmed 6 people in San Antonio are infected with the disease. The 2 newest cases were identified through voluntary testing. 5 cases were initially confirmed among the group of quarantined people from Diamond Princess cruise ship. The 3rd was taken to a medical facility after presenting symptoms consistent with this virus. Now, city officials and doctors with the CDC say there could be more confirmed cases in the coming days. Right now, all 6 of these people infected with the coronavirus are staying at the Texas Center for Infectious Diseases, and 144 people from the Diamond Princess cruise ship are still being monitored twice a day for the symptoms at JBS Lackland. 4 from that group are being evaluated with symptoms and awaiting test results.
Having them there on the base is not going to cause an increased risk to the general population of San Antonio.
The quarantine for the cruise ship evacuees is scheduled to end on March 2nd. Tonight, the Texas Rangers are investigating a deadly officer-involved shooting outside of Floresville Walmart. The Wilson County Sheriff tells us 2 of his deputies plus a DPS trooper shot and killed 20-year-old Stephen O'Brien. The sheriff says O'Brien had his hands in his pockets and said, "Y'all are going to have to shoot me," before quickly taking his hands out of his pocket. Now he died at the scene. Investigators say he was not armed.
New tonight, a high-ranking Bexar County official is in the middle of a firestorm that involves religion in the workplace. County Manager David Smith issued a statement today explaining a 2016 letter we obtained through an open records request. In it, he directed Budget and Finance Division staffers to attend Mass and receive absolution. He said, quote, "It was not an official communication and shared only with a few individuals," adding, "Furthermore, none of the suggestions were meant to be taken seriously," end quote. We've got the whole story posted online, including what caused the complaints in the first place.
A new development in a grisly Southwest Side murder, an elderly woman found dead, who police have charged in the crime and the close personal relationship she had.
You're watching Fox News at 9.
Let's check out what's making headlines at 9. Police have arrested this woman in the murder of her own grandmother. 23-year-old Tamara Laws lived with 7-year-old Doris Novella, who was found brutally murdered inside her Southwest Side home on Saturday.
I hear people say thank you for his service, and I get that from others telling me thank you for your father's service, thank your father for his service.
Bring an American hero. Family and friends of 95-year-old Theodore Johnson held visitation for the last of 3 Tuskegee Airmen living in the San Antonio area. Funeral services are tomorrow morning at 10 at St. Joseph Catholic. A New Braunfels police officer has resigned in the middle of an indictment on child porn charges. Jacob Pullen was arrested back in December for possession of child pornography.
All of these things that really begin to respond how San Antonio wants to live.
The city and CPS Energy kicking off a 2-day conference downtown today focused on creating a city for the future. They want to hear your thoughts on what you want to see from a smart city.
And we've been 7 years and we're sick of it.
It's supposed to be a place where people can grieve in peace, but years of windblown garbage has this funeral home fed up. What our cameras saw when we went to solve the neighborly dispute. But first, 2 neighboring cities with very different stories, how 2 countries are coming together to catch dangerous cartel members living lives of model U.S. citizens on this side of the border.
San Antonio's News with Ryan Wolf, Camila Rambaldi, Chief Meteorologist Alex Garcia, and investigative reporter Yami Virgin. This is Fox News at 9.
New at 9, a West Side community is calling for change after a 16-year-old was killed right in a neighborhood park. Fox San Antonio's Alejandra Guzman is joining us live right now after speaking with the victim's friends who said they prayed for this person in their final moments.
In between the heartbreak and loss, friends and family are praying for change. You can hear them still singing at this time of the night. Now, this is after the shooting and the violence that actually led to the shooting of 16-year-old Jesse Alvear tonight. We were able to speak with his parents, who shared photos of their beloved son. They say he was a happy kid who would light up the room with his bright smile. His parents say Jesse's goal was to graduate high school. A couple that Jesse had been living with for the past 8 months say the shooting on Sunday at Benavides Park should have never happened. He'd been playing basketball just like any other day.
You know, if it's in the west side, south side, north side, east side, it doesn't matter what part of town you're from, but the devil's everywhere.
A meeting is scheduled for Thursday at St. Timothy's Catholic Church, where community members will be able to speak with SAPD Chief Willie McManus and Councilwoman Shirley Gonzalez about their concerns. We have information on that at foxsanantonio.com. Alejandra Guzman, Fox News at 9.
New tonight, new numbers from the city show an alarming trend about traffic deaths and seatbelts. Fox San Antonio looked at a window of time, January 1st through February 20th, over the last 3 years, and the number of deaths on city streets. In 2018, 36 deaths. Last year, 28. This year, 22. A downward trend for sure, but the number of those killed who weren't wearing seatbelts has jumped from 7% in 2018, 25% last year, to this year, an alarming 38%.
It's so important because my brother might be here today. And now his kids have to grow up without him.
Amy Barrero's brother was not wearing his seatbelt when he died in a car crash. Through her grief, she wants people to know always, she says, wear your seatbelts.
Well, back at the live desk, where we are learning tonight that White House has sent lawmakers an urgent budget request for $2.5 billion to address the deadly coronavirus outbreak. Now, the White House Budget Office saying the funds are for vaccines, treatment, and protective equipment. The request just released this evening. As key government accounts, they're running low. The Department of Health and Human Services has already tapped into an emergency infectious disease rapid response fund. Now, tomorrow morning, senators are expected to receive a briefing on the government's coronavirus response. Yami?
A Fox San Antonio exclusive now. We've shown you the U.S. fugitives who hide out in Mexico for years, many found thanks to your tips. Now Mexico's also asking for your help to find U.S. citizens who live role model lives here in the United States, but in reality, they're members of organized crime once they cross the border. El Paso Juarez border. Many people here live binational lives. On one side, the safest city in the United States. On the other, one of the most violent in the world. And what members of organized crime had found in El Paso is a place to live quiet lives while they commit their crimes on the other side of the border. Jorge Navalopez is the Attorney General of Chihuahua. Day in and day out, he sees the bloodshed drug trafficking causes in his state. But he knows some of those who order the hits and move the drugs hide out in El Paso.
Ciudadanos modelo allá en Estados Unidos, allá viven como si fueran unos ciudadanos o comerciantes, empresarios, padres de familia, todo normal. Sin embargo, pues acá de este lado de la frontera, pues vienen y realizan sus actividades delictivas.
That's why now a type of binational neighborhood watch and Crime Stoppers is helping find these fugitives. Mexican and U.S. law enforcement working together to get operatives with the help of tips from the public generated by these billboards. A huge help since transnational criminal organizations and the cartels know no borders. No one knows that better than neighborhoods on both sides of the border, which are victimized. And that's why Navalopez says it's important to get the communities on the U.S. and Mexican side to help find these wanted men and women.
En algunos de los casos sí. Sin embargo, las personas que viven allá por lo regular forman parte alta de las estructuras, entonces lo que hacen ellos es ordenar las ejecuciones.
Some of those who are wanted are also in the business of running guns and money south of the border. Many times the guns are identified in murders in Juarez as being purchased in the U.S. by a U.S. citizen who then goes right across the border back to their lives in peaceful El Paso. Billboards for now have 10 fugitives wanted in Mexico. There are no names on each picture since many use aliases. Some mugshots were taken from security cameras, so even an alias may not be available. Now, for Mexican journalists that we know, the biggest fear on the Mexican side of the border is not remaining anonymous. Federal and state authorities for both countries say all tips will remain confidential.
Boy, that's going to be really frightening for people in El Paso when you think about your neighbor could be a stone-cold killer right across the border.
It is, and we've done stories where we've gone down to Reynosa, Matamoros, and they found cartel members, leaders that were hiding out on the U.S. side of the border. So they know it's calm on this side. Wait till things calm down, and then they go back over again.
Very interesting report. Thanks for that.
Thank you.
Now, first warning weather with Chief Meteorologist Alex Garcia.
Well, we had not a bad day. The weekend was pretty good. We were watching what was coming our way, though. We've had a little front that passed through the region, but you really couldn't tell it. It was more of a dry front, a very weak area. Most of the big rain sitting a little bit further back out to the east of us. All of that with that long line of drier air behind it coming down. Now, we do have some cold air. It's sitting right up in this region here. That's Arctic air. That's going to be diving down a little bit further down toward the south tomorrow. So all during the day, we'll be watching these high clouds that will be skirting across the region, but they'll begin to move out and we'll see some sunshine for most of the day. Then we'll watch that dry air that really will start to flow back in. This is what it looked like today. Those clouds were in there. They were kind of knocking back a little bit of the heat, but it was a pleasant day overall. Tomorrow, those clouds will probably move out, and that means more sunshine, but with that really cold Arctic air dropping in here, we may have a little bit of a time trying to warm that up. Temperatures right now looking into the 60s. We're seeing some few 50s showing up. Down to the south of us also into the 60s. This is what it looks like downtown. We're looking 60 degrees, 57, 58. Keep in mind, afternoon high this time of the year is about 69. So yeah, we're kind of close, but not there. Early in the morning, we'll have a little bit of a southwest flow coming in. That'll help out just a little bit, but temperatures, yeah, they're going to be a slightly on the cool side for some folks. We'll be looking 40s out at Lackland City, over at Stinson and down into Elmendorf. A little bit warmer as you get up into the center portion of town. Up north, up near Hollywood Park, we're running around 52, but just north of that, 47 in Timberwood Park and into Stone Oak. You look at the region, overall, we're going to be sitting into the mid to low 50s. You get a little further back out toward the hill country and it drops off near 51. A little further along the coast, we have a little extra moisture at 56 to about 57. Tomorrow, again, the clouds move out. We get plenty of sunshine during the day, so that means we kind of get a nice little warm up. At least by midday, we should be up around 66. Later in the afternoon, though, we're going to be struggling to make that 70, 71 degree mark. And then tomorrow evening, without much in the way of cloud cover, without much in the way of wind, and that stronger front coming in, watch the dive off of temperatures as we go from the 60s all the way down into the 50s. Now, long term, the trend says we're going to be above normal, but in the short term, we're going to have a couple of days that are going to be downright chilly. Cold this morning. We'll be right here Thursday morning when we could get down to around 31, 32 for a short period of time. So there will be a drop off come Wednesday and Thursday. Those are going to be the coldest days of the week. The interesting thing is you're not going to need an umbrella all week long, and we're going to warm up coming from Friday right into Sunday, Monday, and going into Thursday. And Sunday is the first day of March and the first day of meteorological spring. We'll talk about that rain when we come back.
I don't know what they're doing over there to make the trash comes over here, but it does.
Raining trash at an East Side cemetery. You see it there caught on camera. Leaders say flyaway trash is especially problematic on even windier days. Now, Waste Management has been operating on East Houston Street for the past 7 years. The company says it's tried to be a good neighbor and has taken steps to clean the area up. But leaders at the cemetery across the street say, no, not enough. They reached out to Fox San Antonio's Darian Trotter to solve the problem.
Trash, dust, and stench. Stinks sometimes real bad.
Joe Webb is talking trash. He's had it with his neighbor, frustrated over trash caught on camera blowing freely overhead, and Webb says it often lands at Meadowlawn Memorial Park.
I don't know what they're doing over there to make the trash comes over here, but it does.
A spokeswoman for Waste Management says the company strives to be a good neighbor to communities and businesses surrounding our facilities. The chaplain at Meadowlawn showed us pictures of debris he says is from the recycling company. Paper is seen lying along the fence line in front of the cemetery and the fence line in the back of the property. This plastic bag stuck in a tree. We also recorded video of trash in front of grave sites with our camera.
It's been 7 years and we're sick of it.
To demonstrate a commitment to keeping the area clean, Waste Management dedicates 2 full-time cleaners who pick up debris on site, along the roadways and the cemetery twice a day. The company pays for street sweeper services weekly on both sides of East Houston, and they've upgraded the fence line with netting.
And none of that works. Why would we be complaining if there wasn't a problem?
Waste Management points out that the site is subjected to inspections by state and local agencies like TCEQ and Code Compliance. They say there are no current issues at the site. We're looking into that claim and we will let you know what we find out. Darian Trotter, Fox News at 9.
Do you have a problem that needs solving? Connect to Darian right through email, Facebook, or Twitter.
What's up, guys? Today I'm at Slattery, Perkins, and Ramirez. Now that's an accounting firm. Now I know you typically don't think accounting firms do things that are all that exciting. But let me tell you, this one recently did something that's changing the lives of people all over San Antonio and beyond.
She cut her ankle monitor off and stopped reporting to her pretrial services officer. What she has allegedly done this time.
This is San Antonio's Fox News at 9.
The U.S. Marshals want you to take a good look tonight at Leslie Salazar. She got in trouble once for smuggling undocumented immigrants into the U.S. Now she's on the Marshals' most wanted fugitive list.
In October 2018, Salazar was arrested on charges involving transportation of undocumented immigrants for financial gain.
Released under bond, Salazar agreed to all court proceedings. That included showing up to court.
Salazar allegedly violated the conditions of her pretrial release because she cut off her ankle monitor and stopped reporting to her pretrial services officer.
According to deputies, Salazar's last known address was in Laredo, but she's known to live here in San Antonio. She has 2 recognizable tattoos, one on each of her wrists. Leslie Salazar is 5'4" and weighs 120 pounds. Now, if you have more information on this fugitive, you're asked to call the Lone Star Fugitive Task Force at 210-657-8500. And remember, fugitives can't hide from Fox San Antonio viewers. Back to you.
Well, back at the live desk, we are following some breaking news. We just got an alert from Crime Stoppers of San Antonio asking for your help tonight in an arson case. Investigators say that man pictured there was the last person seen driving a car found burnt. A 2018 Ford Fusion was stolen from a nightclub on Highway 90 back in October. The car was later found burned on South Evans Road. Now, if you know who that man is, you're asked to call Crime Stoppers at 224-STOP, and you may get a reward of up to $5,000. Ryan?
That may get somebody to talk. Thanks, Melissa. An update on those early voting numbers. Tonight, the Bexar County Elections Department says just over 4,000 people cast their ballot today. Remember, early voting is all this week from 8 in the morning to 6 at night. Meantime, the Elections Department says this has been a pretty mixed bag for the polls. Early voting numbers are up this year compared to 2016 and 2018, but more than 20% behind numbers in 2008 when President Obama was elected.
This is a long week for us. We're open 12 hours a day, and we should see our numbers blossom by Thursday and Friday.
Not sure where to go to cast your vote? We made it real easy for you. Just head to foxsanantonio.com. You'll find it on the homepage.
Now, the big race to watch here on Election Day is the Democratic Party. But before Super Tuesday, the candidates are heading to South Carolina, trying to win votes before Saturday's primary there. After a victory in Nevada and huge rallies right here in Texas this weekend, Bernie Sanders has now taken a clear lead.
My God, there are a lot of people here tonight.
Sanders has criticized the ultra-rich, and that includes fellow Democrat Candidate Mike Bloomberg. Bloomberg's office in Chicago was vandalized over the weekend. The third office hit in less than a week.
Well, let's check out what's trending. It is the building that just won't fall.
Oh,
For the
the
first
Leaning
time,
Tower of Dallas.
they tried explosives to knock down this sucker in Dallas.
Did it go?
It was a week ago, but part of it stayed up. Look at it right there.
Look
People
at
dubbed
that.
it the Leaning Tower of Dallas, even posing with it, taking those selfies. So demolition crews went back at it today. This time, taking a different approach, guys.
Oh.
How about a wrecking ball?
Oh, that'll
Bring
work.
that stubborn
Did it do it?
skyscraper down. Well, the effort's going to take a little bit of time because you got a wrecking ball now.
He's got to put the hammer to it.
They
That's
expect
what it is.
about 2 or 3 days. We'll check back and see if that thing has fallen.
All right, do you play golf?
Miniature golf, putt-putt, right off
Yeah,
that
that's it.
alligator's tail. Boom! In the
That's
hole.
it.
All right, well, this lady I can relate with. Here we go. She has gone a couple of hundred times. Someone gets out there, they get pulled out to the crowd. They take part in some nearly impossible
Oh, no.
thing that they have to do. And look what she did. She gets out there. She's 84 years old. And there we go, the golf ball from one side of the court to the other to win a brand new
insane.
car. And
That's a
check it out.
putt-putt.
She pulls it off. The crowd goes wild, and her reaction is pretty priceless, too. By the way, excuse me, that's a 94-foot shot she
Wow.
had to make.
That's incredible.
That
They
is
say nobody's
incredible.
ever made that shot before there. You know, they
Really?
do that as sort of a publicity stunt
Yeah,
thing.
just to see
They
it.
don't expect anybody to win the car.
Exactly. Guess what?
Wow.
She might
won it.
actually be a little bit younger than that, I think.
I think she may, but I hope they had the keys for that thing.
Yeah, no kidding.
She earned it.
She was going to drive off on
Long line. All right, these next two people have an incredible story to tell. The time they caused not one, not two, but 3 avalanches and made it out alive.
Oh, lucky.
Yeah, they were riding their snowmobiles in this mountain
we
in
go.
Colorado. The first guy speeds up, sets off that first avalanche.
Oh, boy.
Wow.
His partner actually taken down by that sucker. 2 more avalanches are then triggered. Both managed to survive. Their heads stayed above the snow. So very lucky. Experts say the mistake they made is they went down together instead of taking things one at a time.
Yeah.
Causing that whole mountain to just pretty much buckle
Yeah,
under
they
the
kind of
pressure.
tell you, these things are really easy to just kind of set off.
So who saved them?
They saved themselves. Their heads were up, so I guess they dug themselves
Dug
out.
themselves out?
They're very lucky. Could have been a different story.
No kidding. Big different story.
And for us, my friend, tomorrow's a different story.
It
from
is, we
today.
were waiting for this last little hurrah of winter. It's coming tomorrow, but it's not going to be a powerful one. It'll be enough to kind of, okay, it's back a little bit. You'll need your jackets for a little while, but unlike last week, when we had all those clouds, we had that drizzly stuff in here, we're going to be cold, but minus the drizzle, which means we kind of really need rain, but doesn't look like we're going to get it. We're about 0.4 below normal since the beginning of the month. So we're sitting over here at 0.07, should be at least about 1.5 inches. Radar tonight, well, it's just showing ground clutter. There's not a whole lot showing up on the radar. The air is really, really dry out there. Not much moisture to work with down in the lower levels. But get this, we're looking at the long trend, 8 to about 14 days out. It's telling us we're right on the line. You see that? There's San Antonio right on the line with above normal and below normal, which means, we could potentially see a little bit better chance for some rain coming up over the next 8 to 14 days, or we could be running below the normal. My thoughts is, I'm thinking that's where we're headed. We're not really seeing much in the way of rain. In fact, the rain dial setting up for Tuesday and for Wednesday and for Thursday is down to 0. I don't see any opportunities for rain coming up. In fact, I'll go ahead and add Friday to that. Not seeing any opportunities for rain all the way to the end of the week. Best opportunities are going to be further back out to the east. This is where we've got energy going on. We're also looking at some good opportunities up here to the north. That's up there in the Panhandle. We're not seeing much of that coming in our direction. The only thing that we're seeing, notice that little flow right there. It's kind of a northwest flow. That means that Arctic air is going to be diving further south, way down past the Panhandle, down here. So look out for it. It's going to be a little chilly. When we look at rain, we're leaving February, and it looks like we're going to go out below normal. So we get into March, and we're thinking, any opportunities in March? They're not looking really good. And the driest March, all the way back to 2011, we got one sort of raindrop showing up there. Less than a half inch in 2019, a little bit over a 3/4 inch in 2003. 2000, we're about an inch. 2013, about an inch. So March can either be really wet or really, really dry. And we're thinking it's leaning kind of dry this time around. No little rain dudes all the way out through the end of the weekend, but we do have plenty of sunshine. Clouds come back on Friday, warming up above the normal both Saturday and Sunday. That's the first day of meteorological spring. Remember that. Then we're going to warm back up again. Slight opportunity for rain there. I mean, very small. Rain dial down to 1. We see another weak front, knocks us down for one day, then we're back up again, and then, hey, we're warming up from the 8th, so that's the second full week. Not much in the rain category because we don't see any little rain dudes other than this guy. And we get into the middle part, we've got a couple of more days
That's
here.
spring break right there.
I know, that's spring break. So you don't really want it to rain, but we do have a couple of little opportunities, not much. But the good news is temperatures stay above the normal all the way through. So it looks like spring break is going to be pretty warm and probably mostly dry.
Good thing to hear. It started with an idea to give his workers cash, but it's what they did with the cash that has people talking. Fox San Antonio's David Norris shows us why they're making us, San Antonio, proud.
You may not know it, but tucked away on the 7th floor of a building just off I-10 is a small accounting firm, Slattery, Perkins, and Ramirez. Now, you may not think of an accounting firm as doing life-changing work, but Mike and his team recently did something that is affecting people all across San Antonio and beyond. And it all started right here in this tiny conference room. They even made a video about the whole thing.
So the reason I wanted to meet this morning, call you all in. I called everybody in one day and said we're going to do something really fun.
That's Mike, the Perkins and Slattery, Perkins and Ramirez.
That's right. I'm going to put $1,000 in each of your hands. I told them to go just kind of make a huge impact in our community and document it with videos and pictures.
The challenge was set.
Ready?
I have no idea what I'm going to do, but I want to make an impact.
I have no idea what I'm going to do with my money yet.
We have a lot of friends and family that are teachers. So
After the nerves wore off, you know, they went out and they did amazing things. They blessed kids, families, churches, the needy.
Here you go, man.
May God bless you.
The sick, the elderly, the special needs, and the list goes on.
$1,000 for me was a pretty easy decision, so you could also send something like that.
Amy Hawkins gave her cash to an organization that helps people with special needs.
It gave me the ability to feel the feeling of giving money away and expecting nothing in return.
Austin James gave his to an organization that helps parents with sick kids. He's hoping the good they've done here will keep on giving.
That just then gets multiplied and expanded and happens more and more and more.
Which is exactly what Mike is hoping for.
We're not looking for any, pat on the back personally. We just want other people to see it and be inspired.
David Norris, Fox News at 9.
Great work there. Do you know someone who makes us San Antonio proud? Reach out to David through email or social media.
Thousands of students leaving the classroom, the program giving local kids a first-hand look at jobs